Mennen Sports Arena in Morristown, New Jersey. TV3 Sports is proud to present the first ever public school state hockey championship. The game is being played between the third-seeded Chatham Cougars and the #1 seed Mounties from Montclair. Hello again, everybody. I'm Bob Ritchie, and the word around the arena right now is not that it's the first ever state championship. It is about the health of Montclair star defenseman Doug Rosa. He's at a 104-degree temperature since Sunday. Was even thought to have been taken to the hospital today. They didn't do that. He went to school, and he will play. I bring in my partner, Peter Caggiano. And Peter, what does that mean for Montclair?
It means quite a bit. He anchors that defense. Right now, he has 19 goals, and Montclair depends on him for about 35 of the 45 minutes.
When you look at the two teams, you got to start with their two coaches, and they come from vast backgrounds in hockey. One is from the Chatham coach from Brooklyn, and all he says in his hockey career was roller skates. You look at Peter Herms, he played as high as minor league hockey. He's coached as high as Division I college.
A dichotomy in coaches, a dichotomy in coaching styles tonight. Harvey Cohen in his 22nd year behind the bench. Peter Herms, his first year as a high school coach in this state, but he's a lot of coaching experience in his past.
You look more now, we take a look at the two teams, and the first thing that comes to mind has got to be the depth. You've got Chatham, who has two seniors playing. Montclair, on the other hand, has 8 seniors playing.
Along with that, Montclair depends on that big line, their first line, who has over 80 goals this year. Chatham, on the other hand, a very balanced attack. They will rotate 3 lines tonight, including that third line, which is Harvey Cohen's checking line.
All right, now we look at the key players, Pete, and when you go to Chatham, there aren't any superstars. But in the past, in the last week, you've got to look to Tom Sturdivant, scored the winning goal against Brick in the semifinal.
Tom Sturdivant, he's a senior. He centers that first line. A real playmaker, 19 goals, 29 assists, very good around the net.
Then you look over at Montclair, and they have 3 right up the middle. Their goalie, Scott Hirschberg, their defenseman, Doug Rosa, and the guy who really makes it tick, scores all the goals, Mike Reveley.
Mike Reveley, what a leader this fella is. A tri-captain, 41 goals, 41 assists. I'm sure he's going to be a first-team All-Star this year, according to the North Star Ledger. Just an outstanding player. He is definitely the type of player who can make an impact on the game from the drop of the puck to the last buzzer.
Well, Pete, you couldn't tell from the weather outside that there's going to be hockey tonight, but there sure is inside the Mennen Arena. It's the first ever state public school hockey championship, and it's next on TV3. Welcome back to the Mennen Arena in Morristown, site of today's public school state hockey championship between the #3 seed Chatham Cougars and the #1 seed Montclair Mounties. And the first thing I got to say to you, Pete, is Montclair arrives here real late. You would have thought it was a detriment to them. They turn and make Chatham wait an extra 10 minutes to come onto the ice.
Well, according to what we've heard, they ran into a lot of traffic trying to get here. Montclair did. This is a building that's not too far from the Chatham area, and you're right. Chatham had to sit in their locker room dressed, ready to go for about 40 minutes, just prepared and ready, and that could play a part later in this game.
All right, let's quickly look at Chatham's starting lineup. They'll start at left wing with Fred Giro. The center is Tom Sturdivant, the guy who scored the game-winning goal against Brick on Saturday. Jim Wilson's the right wing. Dunn and Tista will anchor the defense, and Dean Jankovic is the goalie. Jankovic has started all but 1 game this year. He's 15-5-2, 2.84 goals against, and a save percentage of 87.3%.
And to go with those 17 victories, he has 2 shutouts. There we take a look at Harvey Cohen. As we mentioned earlier, his 22nd year behind the bench at Chatham this year, 16-5-2, second all-time in coaching victories behind Bob Oriama of Brick.
Montclair's starting lineup is DeLuca, Reveley, and Bailey. On defense, it's Rosa and Trevainen, and Hirschberg is the goaltender. Here we go with the first ever state public school ice hockey championship. Chatham controls the draw, but Montclair gets it in the neutral zone. That's Giro. Giro will dump it in, no ice. Stop behind the net, no, Hirschberg misses it. Chatham controls in there in the Montclair zone. Montclair likes to bang it around the boards. Coach likes to, he feels that turnovers are in the least dangerous spot when you bang it around the boards.
Well, Bob, we'll get into that a little bit later, but this is the 18th game in a row for Chatham in this building.
There's a shot right on for Chatham. And another one and a nice save by Hirschberg. Hirschberg's ready early.
Quick left glove by Scott Hirschberg, the senior goaltender, as he quickly moved out that left hand and with the gauntlet snagged it right out of the air. Here we'll take a look at it. The shot comes right off the boards there, as it's Peter Dunn, the left defenseman, letting a quick shot go on a one-time, but quick save is made by Scott Hirschberg.
Here we see it right off the bat. Montclair stays with their first line, and Chatham, another big save by Hirschberg.
Boy,
and to finish that point, Chatham comes back with their second line.
That time Hirschberg used his left pad, extended it fully, and just got the toe on it to keep that away. We saw two quick shots by Chatham. The first one was high to the glove side. The second one was low to the glove side. Hirschberg up to the task both times. There we take a look at John DiCarlo, one of our officials tonight. The other fellow working the game, there he is right there, Murray Sulzer.
This is Reveille on the draw with Cohen, won by Cohen, and it's put into the Montclair corner. This is Rosa, digs it out of the corner, and he'll start it up. He likes to join the play. Through the neutral zone, takes him to the left side. He'll wind up, he'll fire, blocked in front. There's the rebound. DeLuca throws it wide. Right on it is Bailey. He throws it into the corner. Chatham controls. That's Dunn and Reveille tied up in the corner, and there'll be a face-off to the left of Jankovic.
Bob, I mentioned earlier the 18th straight game in this building for Chatham. Montclair plays their home games at the Montclair Arena. And for those fans who are aware of the Montclair Arena, it's a smaller building. By that I mean the rink is not 200 by 85. There's not that much room behind the nets. It's very small, very tight back there. And it's a little different when they come to a bigger rink. There's a lot more room. Consequently, a lot more play develops from behind the net. That's something Montclair is not used to because they don't have that luxury in their building.
Montclair's second line of Menard, Volpe, and Haberbush out there for the first time. This is Chatham controlling the puck. Just dump it out into center, and Montclair will dump it right back in. Cook goes back forward for Montclair, throws it up the boards to Giro. Giro can't get it out, kept in by Menard. Chatham picks it up again, having trouble clearing their own zone. Two defensemen having trouble communicating, and Montclair will dump it right back in. Montclair still looking for their first shot on net, as Chatham fired three quick ones early. This is Wilson through the neutral zone. He's got good speed, a nice toe-to-heel move, shot right on net, and a big save by Hirschberg. That's his third quality save. We're only 2 minutes into the game.
First of all, you got to look at the great move by Jim Wilson. He walked right around the Montclair defense, splitting the pair, and then he tries to pick the 5-hole right between. We'll take a look. There you see the move to the center ice, beats him between the legs, quick shot. Notice how Scott Hirschberg closed the pads real quick and then stacks them one on top of the other to hold on for the whistle. Another quality save.
Caught Peter Portis, the defenseman, looking at the puck, not the man. This is Rosa for Montclair. Dumped it in his zone, but he gets it out. No icing called. Dunn goes back forward for Chatham. See Montclair in their passive called the neutral zone trap forecheck. They like to get the player at the red line, pinch him right there so he'll dump it in for an ice or he'll give it up. Montclair in their own zone. Reveille just chips it out all the way down. Icing is waved off.
Bob, talking a little earlier to Peter Herms, he has two different styles of forechecking. One is that neutral zone trap that you mentioned about. The other thing he'll do, right in the middle of a line shift, he'll give a signal, and then all three forwards will crash the puck. They'll all rush the shooter, or rush, to say, the puck carrier, and try to maintain and keep pressure on the opposing team.
There you take a look at Coach Herms. Played minor league hockey all the way up to the Muskegon Lumberjacks and also over in Finland, and has coached as high up as Division I college at Princeton and up at Tabor.
Well, he coached at Tabor, and he was the National Scholastic Coach of the Year in 1993 at Tabor Academy.
First year with Montclair, and a good one, 18-4-4 after a 4-win season the year before. Trevainen back to get it from Montclair. There you see, he just likes to throw it around the boards. It's kept in by Giro at the point, and he throws it back in. Sturdivant goes in to get it with Trevainen. Rosa comes out of there with the puck, and here he starts to wind it up again. Across the blue line through the neutral zone, hounded by Jim Wilson. Wilson all over him, but Rosa with a nice move, another nice move, but taken off the puck by Giro. And Coach Harvey Cohn was talking about Giro. He's his most tenacious hitter.
Well, that was the first real body check we've seen tonight. But the other thing is Rosa does not seem to be slowed by the virus or flu that he had the past few days that kept him with that 104 temperature. He looked pretty good on that rush, but again, very nice body check by Fred Giro, taking him out of the play. Here we'll see it as Rosa tries to step inside. He steps inside once, but right there he gets caught flat-footed. And the junior forward, Fred Giro, back-checking, doing a great job, knocks Rosa down.
Cohen, Kostrowski, and Richards out for Chatham. Menert, Volpe, and Haberbush for Montclair. Menert gets thrown out. Haberbush steps in for the faceoff. Won by Montclair. Portis tries to dump it out, can't do it. And Montclair does come out with it. That's Menert, but it's knocked away by Dunn. Here's Kostrowski playing the off wing for Harvey Cohn. Stuck up in the neutral zone here. No one really getting any control. Now Montclair tries to dump it in, but that's stopped right there by Cook. Cook tries to dump it through. Cohen gets to it for Chatham. But he loses it in his feet. A lot of sloppy play in the neutral zone right now. Do you have the feeling that each team is still a little nervous, still kind of trying to feel out how each other plays, as they haven't played each other in many years?
But the other thing I noticed, it seems that Chatham is taking more of a control, though. When they have the puck, they know what to do with it. Their passing right now is a little bit more crisp, and also they're getting more shots on goal, and that's obviously a big key.
Cohen back behind his own net to set up. Starts up, dangerously goes in front of his own net. Revelle's right on him, forces the pass to Kostrowski. Kostrowski throws it to Richards, but Richard was going for a change. Wilson picks it up here at center ice, right on Portis again. This time he decides to shoot, and a glove save by Hirschberg. Looks like he could have probably gotten it with a pad, but he went with a glove, probably would have snuck in the corner.
A little bit unorthodox, but Hirschberg had already committed himself to go down, and his leg was not extended to the left, so he had to use his glove, and look how quick that left hand is right there as that puck was no more than 3 inches off the ice. A perfect shot by Jim Wilson, and that's the second time Scott Hirschberg has robbed the junior Jim Wilson. Jim so far this year, 35 goals, 23 assists, 58 points, the leading scorer on the Chatham team.
DeLuca tries to dump it out, but Wilson's right there. Wilson throws it across, and they dump. Chatham just dumps it in. Chatham getting the better of the play so far. This is Sturdivant behind the net, throws it back out to the point to Dunn. Dunn's their gunner from the point. He fires just wide. Kept in on the right point by Tista. He throws it back in. Rosa's there for Montclair. Rosa gives it to DeLuca. Sturdivant right on him, but they give it back to Rosa. Here comes Rosa again. Rosa through the neutral zone. He's got Bailey with him. Can't get it to him. Rosa in the corner. Throws it behind the net to Reveille. Reveille walks out, tries to give it to DeLuca. Can't do it. Bailey came late, but couldn't get a shot off. Another big hit there by Wilson for Chatham, but Montclair controls. DeLuca walks out in front. The puck's loose, but DeLuca can't put in the rebound. Bailey fighting for it for Montclair. Here's Reveille again. Knocked off the puck, and Chatham is just forced to ice the puck. The first extended pressure by Montclair.
Montclair came real close twice to scoring there. A lot of pressure right around Dean Yankovic. One time I thought he was going to pounce on the puck, but somehow it squirted loose. Reveille almost was able to tuck it home, but then Chatham taking the smart play, just getting the puck out of the zone, looking for that line change, settling the team down.
There you get a good look at George DeLuca. He's a senior with 36 goals and 26 assists. Coach Herms dubbed him their emotional leader. Never up, never down. He's just always right there for you. Portis has it for Montclair, and he just dumps it out to center, where Cook gets it for Chatham, and it gets knocked off the puck by Menert, and that's dumped all the way down. 8:55 left in the first period. No score, but that's not because of a lack of shots. Both teams have had chances in close, but still no score. Chatham has to go back to get it. That's Chris Stoltz. Stoltz looking to throw it up the boards, gets it to Kostrowski. Kostrowski banged on the play by Haberbush. Kostrowski still has the puck, but Haberbush gets it back. tries to dump it twice, can't do it. Portis jumps it up along the boards.
Bob, there's that neutral zone trap you mentioned about Montclair allowing Chatham to come out of the zone, but once they get to center ice, 3 players lined up there to stop them.
Chatham dumps it back in, and that forces Tim O'Rourke to go back and play it for Montclair. Kept in at the point by Dunn. Dunn shot blocked by Haberbush. O'Rourke again bangs it up the board. There's that breakout we were talking about. There's DeLuca for Montclair. Leaves it for Reveille. Comes down the left side. Reveille hounded by Reveille behind his net. Likes to throw it out to DeLuca there. DeLuca back to Reveille. Reveille scores! A nice play. The two of them work it back and forth. They've done it all year, and there's the first goal of the game.
Well, we mentioned how there's a lot of room behind the nets in this building. There's 15 feet between the goal line and the end boards, and there we saw it. The pass came from in the corner. Mike Reveille, the senior, coasting right down the slot, takes the pass. He's hounded a little bit, but still able to get the shot off. There we see the pass. That's George DeLuca centering. Quick shot up over the right arm of Dean Yankovic, and a celebrant and happy Mike Reveille right there. That's his 42nd goal of the season.
Chatham controls the draw, and they dump it in. Sturdivant goes back. Rosa there for Montclair. He sends it around the boards to DeLuca. DeLuca tries to get it out, but threw it right in front, but Rosa picks it up, and Rosa's got a lane. Semi-breakaway for Rosa, being hounded twice. Can't get the shot off. Nice back check by Dunn.
Super play by Dunn. He just hooked Rosa enough not to get the penalty, but enough to so he couldn't get the good shot off. Outstanding.
Is Rosa working on adrenaline right now?
Well, if everybody has to have 104 temperature to play that well, I'm sure there'd be a lot of kids volunteering.
Here's Rosa's shot from the point, saved by Jankovic. Sturdivant there for Chatham, kept in by Trevainen. DeLuca has the puck. Bailey now for Montclair. Goes behind the net. Throws it back behind the net. DeLuca's there. DeLuca has a lot of time to set up. Can't find anybody. Trevainen keeps it in, chips it toward the net. There's a save. DeLuca the rebound and another save. It's all Montclair right now.
The last 2 minutes, the ice has been tilted to our left as Montclair is putting a lot of pressure on Dean Yankovic. That time, that line of Reveille, DeLuca, Ryan Bailey, a lot of pressure out there, buzzing around the net. Again, the passes are coming from behind the net and putting a lot of good shots. Here we see the semi-breakaway. Notice right there the hook just a little bit to take him off the play. Did not allow Rosa to get the good shot off.
Ostrovsky's able to get it out for Chatham. Haberbush there for Montclair. Through the neutral zone, and he chips it in. Dunn's there for Chatham. Sends it across to his partner. Here comes Stoltz. Stoltz throws it through and takes a hit from Menert. But Montclair is able to control. Cohen there for Chatham, throws it on net. He gets it right back as Montclair turns it over in their own zone. That's Richards in the corner. Tries to get it to Cohen, but it's on his backhand. He's unable to control it. Menert tries to dump it out, but he can't. This time he does by kicking it out. Menert showing some speed here, picks the puck up, walks in front, and just shoots it wide. Good work there by Skylar Menert, not giving up on the play. He tried to get it out once. The second time he did, and he walked in with a semi-breakaway, almost scored.
And he's just a sophomore. He has 11 goals this year. That was almost his 12th. But what he did, which was so nice, he was a right-handed shot coming in on the left side, so he had to cut across the net and then try to put the forehand in. But that time, Scott Hershberg, excuse me, I should say Dean Yankovic went with the play and gave him no angle to shoot.
Icing is waved off by the referees. Portis is back for Montclair. 5:15 to go. Here's Wilson. Wilson with the steal, gives it to Sturdivant, tries to give it back to Wilson, can't get it. Dunn from the left point. His shot is blocked. Keeps it back in, Reveille on him. Puck goes up in the air and out of play. 5:06 left in the first period, and it's 1-0 Montclair.
Bob, so far it's been the goaltenders. They've been the story because we've had a lot of good scoring opportunities. Scott Hershberg from Montclair, Dean Yankovic for Chatham doing an outstanding job. There we see Peter Herms. We mentioned a little earlier that this is Peter's first year in the league as a head coach. They had to beat Lakeland, Regional, and Roxbury to reach this championship game here this evening.
Icing waved off. Reveille walking in on Giro. Once again, Reveille backs off to set up the neutral zone trap. He'll let Giro walk out, and then they'll pinch him over on the boards. Giro's able to walk around Reveille. Keep coming. He walks by Rosa, but Rosa gets right back and knocks him down, and DeLuca picks it up for Montclair, and they start the other way. DeLuca across to Bailey, and Bailey takes a big hit from Peter Dunn. Sturdivant gives it to Wilson. Here comes Wilson, but he loses control. Kept in at the point by Giro. He walks in, gets a shot off, scores! Turnover at the blue line will cost you every time. Chatham makes them pay. It's 1-1.
But that goal was deflected high. Montclair complained that it might have been a high stick.
Number 10 scored.
Official Ron Salter was right there. He immediately pointed to the goal. There was some protesting by Montclair. They thought that it was redirected above the height of 4 feet, but to no avail. It's going to count. Jim Wilson, the forward for Chatham, will get credited with this goal. If we take a look, great job right there by Fred Giro to keep the puck in at the blue line. Watch the shot, it's going wide. There's the deflection, great. Just below the crossbar, we can see it from our angle right here. There is no replay, this is not the NHL, but even though they don't have the benefit of the replay, we do, and we could see that it was the right call. 4 feet is the height of the crossbar. That stick was right underneath the crossbar. Great play by Jim Wilson, his 36th goal of the season, to give him now 59 points on the year.
4:24 left in the first period. It's 1-1, and both leading goal scorers from each team have scored. Wilson for Chatham and Reveille for Montclair.
How appropriate. Here we see a little housekeeping here as that big check that was thrown a couple of minutes ago loosened the glass by the penalty box door. And there you see the skate guard trying to put it back together. Here we're going to take a look at that big check. This is what caused that glass to come loose. This is going to be Ryan Bailey from Montclair. And then watch Peter Dunn take him out right there. Notice the penalty timekeeper who's in the box as he turns his shoulders. He saw that one coming just as well.
Okay, the referees have gotten everything under control. We'll get it back going. 1-1 is the score, just coming off the goal by Chatham. Wilson from Giro on a nice forecheck. As Harvey Cohen told us earlier, that Chatham likes to get all 5 men involved in their forecheck.
Well, the one thing we heard about Jim Wilson is he likes to drive to the net, and there you saw a perfect example of going to the net for either a deflection or a rebound.
Montclair dumps it in. Reveille takes it away but couldn't get control. Gets it back in the corner. Throws it back into the corner to Bailey. Bailey continues it along to DeLuca. DeLuca can't get it. But it's back to Rosa. Rosa gets a shot off. It never makes it to the net. And Dunn all over Bailey and DeLuca in front. A great defensive play.
Outstanding play by Peter Dunn, the junior. He's one of the co-captains. He tied up his man just enough. He had his stick tied up so he could not get that puck that was sitting right at his feet, and then he allowed Dean Yankovic to hold on. There you take a look at it. Notice how he has his stick. It looked a lot worse than what it was. Believe me, all he did was tie the stick up so that the Montclair player could not bring it down to ice level, and then Dean Yankovic held on for the whistle.
Montclair controls the draw. Trevainen tries to keep it in at the point and does. But there are no Montclair players there, so Cook starts it out for Chatham. Wilson chips it in, and Sturdivant goes back for Chatham on the forecheck as Trevainen sends it around the boards to Bailey. Bailey tries to chip it up to Reveille, unable to get it through, but Trevainen then just chips it out of the zone and forces Cook to go back to get it. 3:25 left in the first period, 1-1 tie of this public school state final. Rosa steps up, dumps it in, and goes for a line shift. Peter Dunn picks it up for Chatham, throws it across to Giro. Giro has trouble with it in his feet, and Reveille jumps on top of him. Dunn's there, though, for Chatham and gives it away. Trevainen, the freshman, fires one just wide. Cook decides then just to throw it all the way down the ice, and that will be an icing. You talk about the freshman for Montclair right there taking the shot. They are very senior laden, though.
Right now, Montclair has 7 seniors on their club. to Chatham's only has 2. There we take a look at Chatham. They had victories over Westfield, West Windsor, and Brick. And that Brick was a 1-goal game, an outstanding game to reach the finals here tonight.
Nice draw there by Menert, right back to O'Rourke, but O'Rourke throws it wide. Menert gets the puck in the corner, throws it back to Volpe. Volpe throws it back into the corner. Little cycling here by Montclair. Haberbusch with the hit right for Montclair. He chips it out in front to Menert. Menert misses the rebound. He scores! Excuse me, that was Volpe who missed. Menert picks up the rebound and throws it home. All 3 men involved in the play.
Just buzzing around that net. The pass came from behind the net. The first shot was a backhand. He didn't get all of it. It just skimmed wide. And then Skylar Menert, the sophomore, cruising on the right side, was able to tap it home. Here we're going to see the play as it develops from behind the net. Watch as the first centering pass is made. That's the first shot right there. The backhand just skims wide. But Skylar Menert, the sophomore, pops in his 12th goal of the year. Right wing sitting on the left side of the net. Had the whole net to shoot at and hit the open spot.
Wilson dumps it in for Chatham. 2-1 Montclair. There's a whistle, and we have our first penalty call. Look, no, puck went out of the ring.
Puck jumped over the glass. Our officials tonight have done an excellent job. There really hasn't been any call for any penalties. And the veteran fellas tonight will probably let the boys play. Unless it's very obvious, either going to prevent the goal or cause an injury, they're going to let it go.
Draw one by Chatham, back to Dunn. Dunn gets a shot off, doesn't make it through. Wilson on it for Chatham with Trevainen. Rosa tries to chip it out, but Sturdivant's there, tries to take the shot, but it's blocked by Rosa, and it goes out behind the net. Chatham, in their league tournament, they play in the Mennen League. They lost in the semifinals to their arch rival Pingree, 4-3 in overtime, and Montclair, in their league tournament, lost 6-1 in the final, the Gordon Cup final, to #1 ranked CBA. Plays in the neutral zone. This is DeLuca for Montclair. Takes it down the right side, gives it to Reveille. Reveille around the defenseman, around again, throws it in front for Bailey, but Bailey just missed it. Nice play by Sturdivant to be there to knock his stick off the puck.
They just missed on that one.
Here's a 2-on-1 back the other way, but the referees call offside. Giro once again starting the play for Chatham.
Fred Giro, that junior left wing on that first line, doing an excellent job. That time carrying the puck out of the zone, across the blue line, astride ahead of a teammate there, and that's why the offside was called. But good work, and again, fine work by Montclair. Here we're going to see that miss before. Give and go, almost worked in front. And we remain at 2-1.
Here's Chatham. Tista throws it in, but it's right into the bench, and we'll start it up again.
Ryan Bailey was coming in, a right-handed shot, and the pass from Reveille was just a little bit in his skates. He tried to sweep it quickly. Unfortunately, was unable to make contact with the puck.
Cohen, Kostrowski, and Richards for Chatham. Menert, Volpe, and Haberbusch out there for Montclair. Chatham throws it in. Portis goes back to play it. Throws it around the boards to Volpe. Can't stop it, but it gets out of the zone. Tista throws it across to his partner Dunn, and Dunn will throw it right back in. Hirschberg there to stop it for Portis. Portis throws it around the board once again, keeping that puck away from the middle of the ice for turnovers. Cohen has the puck for Chatham. Bothered in the corner by DeBliss, and we'll get a tie-up.
Good hard work in the corners by both teams. There we take a look at Matt Cohen, the sophomore forward. 17 goals, 14 assists, 31 points. He's also a soccer and lacrosse player. And according to head coach Harvey Cohen, says he's one of the more improved players last year to this year.
Matt Cohen, one of 4 players that on Chatham. Matt Cohen, Tom Sturdivant, Matt Cohen, Jim Wilson, Peter Dunn, and the goalie Dean Jankovic all play for Peter Herms on a traveling team, the New Jersey Lightning.
Now, how strange can that be, Bob? Here they're playing against each other, playing against a team who's coached by a fellow who coaches them at the USA hockey level, which is different from scholastic hockey. It's amateur hockey, just as good, and in some cases even better than some of the high school hockey in the area. And that has to be a weird sensation for these fellas tonight.
Chatham's able to dump it out, and Wilson has it going down the right side, throws it in front. tries to get it back from Sturdivant, but doesn't connect, and Dunn will go back. 1 minute left to play in the first period of a 2-1 Montclair lead. This is Wilson for Chatham, throws it across to Sturdivant. He walks around Trevainen, tries to get by Rosa. Rosa takes him down. The fans want to call, but they don't get it. Sturdivant back with the puck. Throws it into the corner to Wilson. Wilson tries to chip it out in front, bothered by DeLuca. Wilson gets it back, throws it back to the point to Cook, but it hops over his stick. Revelle's all over him, but Cook's able to dump it out of trouble.
Bob, as I mentioned earlier, if it's not real obvious or doesn't prevent a goal, you're probably not going to get a call tonight.
This is Giro through the neutral zone. 17 seconds left in the period. Trevainen knocks him off the puck and takes it from Montclair, and he'll just chip it out. Forces Cook to go back with 8 seconds left. Menert just kind of watching. Cook will try to dump it all the way down, but Trevainen's there for Montclair, and that'll be the end of the first period. 2-1 Montclair. And Montclair really dodged a bullet early as Hirschberg made 3 quality saves in the first 3 minutes.
He sure did. Chatham put the pressure on early. Montclair came back, 2 great goals. Dean Yankovic also playing a great game. We had a fantastic first period.
We'll be right back with the second period of this state public school final. Once again, it's Montclair 2, Chatham 1. Welcome back to Mennen Arena, where after 1 period it is Montclair 2 and Chatham 1 in the first ever public school state hockey championship. Some upcoming events on TV3 Sports. The Senior All-Star Hockey Game. You can see it on Monday, March 27th at 3 o'clock, or Thursday, March 30th at 9 p.m. That's the Senior All-Star Hockey Game. Pete, we talked about earlier that this is the first ever public school state hockey championship. How's it differ from years past?
Well, in previous years, Bob, they only had 1 state championship. Both the public schools as well as the private/parochial schools were all in 1 category. This year, due to the hard work from people like Harvey Cohen of Chatham and some of the other coaches in the New Jersey Hockey Coaches Association, they petitioned the state, and the state granted a separation in which the public schools are in 1 category, the private and parochial schools are in another category, and it's worked out very well, because tonight we see the best team in the North Jersey Scholastic League, which is Montclair, against the best, I should say the best public school team, against the best public school team in the Morris County League, which is Chatham. And they're both meeting here tonight, and through the first period, we've had a pretty even game.
You say even game. Let's look at some of the stats from the first period. The shots on net, Montclair outshoots Chatham 7-6. There's your 1-goal difference. The hits even at 13, and the face-offs, Chatham has a decided advantage, winning 13 of 20 face-offs. Chatham controls the puck in their own zone, almost gives it away. They do give it away to Bailey. Bailey has it, throws it into the corner to Reveille. Reveille tries to give it right back, but Wilson's there for Chatham. Here comes Wilson through the neutral zone. Doesn't have anybody with him. Takes him wide. Tries to cut through the middle. But Montclair is there to stop him. Bailey with a good back check. That's a forward getting back to stop that rush. Trevainen now for Montclair. Brings it through the neutral zone, and he'll dump it right in. Chatham back to pick it up. This is Tista. Tista throws it up to Wilson. Wilson tries to give it right back, but Gross is there. Gets a shot right on net, but Jankovic's there to stop it. Once again, tries the same play again, but Rosa is there to stop it again. Rosa this time just dumps it right back in, and Peter Dunn will go back for Chatham and set it up as the passive forecheck once again causes a turnover for Montclair. Rosa gets it on the left side, but is unable to control it. Wilson knocks him off the puck, and Montclair's forced to go back and get it. This is Giro in the neutral zone. He sends it over to Sturdivant. Sturdivant isn't able to get it in, and they're bottled up in the neutral zone.
Play a little sloppy right here as we begin the second period. Both teams sat for 5 minutes. Montclair stayed at their bench. Chatham went into the locker room for their 5-minute rest. I think Harvey Cohen really wanted to talk to these boys to pick them up for the second period.
One thing to know, the difference between NHL hockey and high school hockey, they will only Zamboni the ice, that's clean the ice, between the second and third, not every period. So the ice will be a little slower this period. Chatham's able to keep it in, Dunn on the left point. He gives it to Richards. Richards throws it across to Cohen, but Cohen's unable to control it. Puck's loose in front there. Richards tries to get a shot. He didn't have his stick, and he tried to kick at it. And here comes Menert the other way for Montclair. He takes the shot right on, save, another save. A third shot just goes wide. Then Chatham's able to get control of it and get it out of their own zone. 3 saves right there for Jankovic.
Great saves by Dean Jankovic. The first one was a slap shot he took in the gut. The rebound came out, and then Montclair trying to tap home that second shot, and Jankovic had to close the pads right away. Here we're going to see the first shot. This is Skylar Menert with the first one. The tap right there, that was by Rosa. And then the second shot just skims wide, as you see, it just missed the left post. Good pressure by Montclair.
Coach Herms told us earlier that the first line usually sees about 2/3 of the ice time. The second line is more of a checking line, and they try to just spell the first line. So far, the second line has a goal and almost got their second one of the night. This is Reveley and Cohen. Puck's loose, and Reveley's behind the defense. He's got a semi-breakaway, walks in, fires, save. Jankovic again. 2 quick saves for Jankovic, and Jankovic gives Bailey a little swat as he leaves. Now Chatham the other way. This is Kostrowski. He tries to center, but he can't get it through, and Reveley's there for Montclair, and he'll throw it around the boards. Unable to keep it in was Cook for Montclair, or for Chatham, and then he turns and takes down DeLuca, and that's going to cost him.
It'll be our first penalty of the evening. It's going to be a tripping penalty. That one was a little too much to ignore. That one was very obvious. And Murray Salter, one of our officials tonight, puts Chatham down for 2 minutes here with just 12 minutes remaining in the second period. Here we're going to take a look at it. Good call right there as the Montclair player was trying to get down to chase that open puck. And it was Cook sticking out his stick, taking him down, and for that he'll sit 2 minutes.
Chatham, 82% penalty killing this year. They'll be put to the test right here to try to keep this a 1-goal game. They're able to chip it out, and it gets through Portis, and he'll have to go all the way back to set it up. It's Portis, Rosa on the defense, and the first line of Reveley, DeLuca, and Bailey. On the defensive end, it's Giro and Sturdivant for Chatham, with the defense of Tista and Dunn. This is Reveley behind the net. He gives it to DeLuca. DeLuca on the right side, right back. The 2 left-handed shots working on the right side. Reveley behind the net. Gets it right back. Now it's DeLuca. DeLuca gives it back behind the net to Reveley. Reveley tries to chip it to him, but he can't do it, and they'll walk it out. This is Giro. Giro one-on-one with Portis, and Portis this time takes the body instead of the puck.
What a great play by Portis. That time, as you mentioned, he played the body. The puck was going to be put around him. He stayed with the shooter, stayed right in front of him, did not allow him to beat himself and get around the net. Here we're going to take a look at it. Watch there. You see him he swipes with the stick, he misses, but notice right there, ooh, he might have got away with one. As you see, he stuck out the right leg. That time Peter Portis, the senior defenseman, used the right leg but got away with it to take down the Chatham player, but they preserves the 2-1 lead.
Tim O'Rourke on for Montclair now on the power play. He takes Ryan Bailey's place on the first line. Big guy, they like to set him up in front. This is DeLuca. DeLuca through the neutral zone. He'll just dump it in, and Reveley will go after it in the left corner. He throws it back into the right corner to DeLuca. Back to Reveley. Reveley unable to control it and forces Rosa to come in. He's able to keep it in. Gets by one more man. Lost control there by Chatham, and DeLuca fired it just over the net. Revelli tries to get it in front, can't do it. Rosa now has it in the left corner. Rosa taking a look. Portis, the only man out on the point. Throws it cross ice to DeLuca. DeLuca's got a shot. Jankovic the save, and it's cleared by Matt Cohen, and they're out of trouble.
Bob, what patience on both teams. Montclair setting up, looking for that perfect shot, and Chatham not going out of that box, staying in position, waiting for Montclair to make the first move and then counteracting.
Sturdivant and Giro back out there as the forwards for Chatham. DeLuca gets it into the zone. 7 seconds left on the power play. Revelli walks behind his own net. Has O'Rourke camped out in front. Gives it to DeLuca, and he fanned on it. Kept in by Portis. Penalty's over. DeLuca has it, gives it to Revelli. Revelli's able to walk out, throws it across to DeLuca. He gets a shot, but it's just wide. Revelli gets it again, throws it in front. The goalie's able to hit it into the air, and then it's tapped out by Dunn with his hand. Portis tries to throw it on net. It kind of fumbles toward him, and it's covered by Jankovic. A big kill right there for Chatham to keep this a one-goal game.
And a lot of pressure by Montclair. Montclair worked that power play beautifully. Kept control, worked for the good shot. The few times they had the good shot, Dean Jankovic came up with the save. Watch right there. He just fans on it. There, George DeLuca had the perfect centering pass. Dean Jankovic was on the far side, and I think he had his head up looking where the puck was going rather than watching the puck meet the stick.
This is Kostrowski for Chatham, taken away by Volpe, and Haberbusch just throws it right back in. Dunn and Cook back on the defense for Chatham. Cohen, Kostrowski, and Richards, the forward line. For Montclair, it's Menert, Volpe, and Haberbusch. As it goes into the corner, and this is Volpe back to get it. He throws it around the boards, doesn't get out, and we've got a penalty coming up to Montclair for elbowing. They got Mike DeBliss for elbowing. So Montclair gets the first chance, is unable to convert. Now Chatham gets its chance, and they are very potent at 35% on the power play.
That's just outstanding. Chatham's power play all year has been very, very strong. And that first line of Fred Guerrero, Tom Sturdivant, and Jim Wilson, 16, 19, and now 36 goals respectively, are really going to pepper Scott Hirschberg.
That first group comes out. The only change on the defense, you have Peter Dunn on 1 point, and the center of the second line, Matt Cohen, is on the other point. Out there for Montclair, it's Menert and Haberbusch with Rosa and Portis on the defense. Sturdivant has it, but it's taken away by Menert, and he dumps it all the way down.
Bob, let's take a look at the different styles. When Montclair had their power play, they'd like to work the play from behind the net with a fellow cutting through the crease area, through the slot area. Let's take a look and see how Chatham sets up their power play.
Menert's able, there was a hand pass going to be called there, so the Chatham players let it go, and they were able to, Menert was able to come in and knock it away. Almost better to take the hand pass there and get the face-off. Cohen sets it up down in his own zone, throws it across to Dunn, who tries to hit Sturdivant, but Rosa's right there for Montclair. Then Menert's able to dump it partially into the zone. Goes for a change, and Revelli's out. Dunn throws it in. Hirschberg's there for Montclair. Portis throws it around, but it's kept in by Cohen. Giro takes the shot. Big save by Hirschberg with the toe, and he kicked the net off as he made that save, so that's the whistle.
Great save by Scott Hirschberg. That shot was low to the stick side, exactly where you're taught to shoot from the time you're a squirt and peewee right up to a midget or junior. Here we're going to take a look. Notice the shot partially screened. I don't know how he saw it, and just in the corner of your picture here, you can see him stick out the right toe, get a piece of the puck, and then after he extended his leg, he made contact with the post, knocking it off its stanchion.
Both teams only have one power play unit, so you see that Chatham will leave their first group out there for the rest of the power play. 57 seconds left on the power play. Dunn's able to keep it in, throws it over to Wilson, but Wilson's unable to control. Rosa's knocked off the puck by Sturdivant. Then DeLuca tries to clear, but Dunn's able to keep it in. Sloppy, puck all over the place, and finally they're able to clear it out, and DeLuca hustling after the puck after it was cleared out, gets knocked down for a penalty. The Chatham fans don't like it at all.
They're complaining, but that was a great call. DeLuca doing a lot of hard work. That time, look, going after the loose puck. There you see right there, and he's taken out of the play without being the man who has the puck or the last one to touch it. And for that, Chatham will sit for 2 minutes. So for the next 41 seconds, they will skate 4-on-4. And then after that, for 1 minute and 19 seconds, Montclair will have the power play.
Second penalty on Chatham. DeLuca's caused both of them by his hustle for Montclair. 4-on-4 situation. Montclair comes out with Haberbush and Menert, with Portis and Rosa on the defense. Wilson and Giro are the forwards for Chatham, with Dunn and Tista. This is Dunn over the line, takes it down into the corner, knocked off the puck by Portis. Giro's able to keep it in, but Haberbush is able to get it to Rosa. Rosa taken down, no call. Yes, there is a call. Rosa would have been off to the races if he isn't taken down right there.
That's why you had to call it, because it wasn't real bad. However, it did deny a scoring opportunity. At time, you're going to see Rosa heading up all the way, and you see right there, Fred Guerrero stuck out the right arm, just grabbed Rosa around the leg and spun him down. That's a great call. And if not for the fact there was nobody between Rosa and the goal, they might have let that go, but that prevented Rosa from having a complete breakaway.
21 seconds left on the penalty to Montclair. Mike to Bliss. 21 seconds. Still 1 minute 40 and 2 minutes left on the 2 penalties to Chatham. So in 20 seconds, a 2-man advantage for Montclair. Rosa will hang back in his own zone. Reveille and DeLuca the forwards. Portis and Rosa are the D. Rosa is able to work it in deep into the zone. Curls back. DeLuca sets up back at D. We have a whistle.
I think a player skated through the crease that's exactly what happened. A Montclair player skated through the crease. Why Montclair had control of the puck. That's an immediate whistle. The play will be taken outside the attacking zone, and the faceoff will be placed right at the offsides dot. There you see John DiCarlo, the official who called it. He's going to drop the puck. And that's because Montclair, while in possession of the puck, had a player skate through the crease.
Once again, the power play unit of DeLuca, Reveille, and O'Rourke out there. The 5-on-3 begins now. They have it for 1 minute 10. This is Rosa. He throws it across to Portis. Portis back to Rosa. O'Rourke's in front of the net, camped out again. DeLuca back to Rosa. Very patient here. Cohen up top there's a shot by Portis. Jankovic just got a piece. Rosa hustles to keep it in. Cohen is the high guy for Chatham. Portis has it again, throws it down to Reveille. Reveille throws it across the crease, and DeLuca misses an open net.
DeLuca shot that right through the crease, across the crease. He tried to make it too fine with his shot.
37 seconds left on the 2-man advantage. Reveille has it in the right corner. Very patient, throws it back out to Portis. Portis back to Reveille. Reveille throws it cross-sized to DeLuca, but DeLuca didn't get much on it, and the shot goes wide. 22 seconds left in the power play, and Dunn's able to skate out with it for Chatham. Dunn through the neutral zone. Rosa comes over to take him, and Dunn will dump it in and retreat, and there's 10 seconds left on the 2-man advantage. Here comes Rosa through the neutral zone. Into the zone, but he's knocked off the puck by Dunn. Nice play. Cook steps over, dumps it down. The first penalty's over, and there's only 15 seconds left on the other penalty.
Bob, I think Montclair's being too cautious right now, not taking advantage and taking the shot, working for the very perfect shot, and sometimes that's not available.
There's a pass up to O'Rourke. O'Rourke able to give it across to DeLuca, and a big save. And as that big save is made, the 2-man advantage is over, and we're still have a 1-goal game. Chatham dodges a big bullet.
D. Jankovic that time with a great save, coming out, breaking down the angle a little bit, taking up as much ground as he could and stopping the puck.
Here's Reveille with a big shot, but Jankovic's there to answer it. Reveille picks up the rebound. Has it in the corner. Volpe comes back on the ice, goes right to the net. This is O'Rourke. O'Rourke walks out, throws it across, but nice defense in front, and Wilson will pick it up for Chatham, and here comes Chatham. Chatham tries to throw it through the neutral zone, and icing is called. So keep that time in mind, Pete. 5:40 of the second period, 5:40 left in the second period. Chatham successfully kills off a 2-man advantage, and Jankovic makes a big save, keeping this a 1-goal game.
He's been the difference so far, because Montclair definitely has a strong advantage in shots. and it's not for the great play of Dean Yankovic, the score would be a lot greater than 2-1.
As you saw, a very good crowd on hand for this first ever public school state final. 2-1 Montclair with 4.5 minutes left in the second period, I'm sorry. This is Cohen. Cohen out from behind his own net. He wants to send it long to Kostrowski, but he can't get it. Portis dumps it up to Haberbush. Haberbush hounded by Kostrowski, just dumps it out. Menert's unable to get it, and Cohen picks it up. Cohen throws it across to Kostrowski. Kostrowski is able to work it over to Richards, and Richards dumps it in. Haberbush tries to dump it all the way around and out and is able to do it and forces Tista back to go get it. Tista to Cohen. Cohen center ice. Cohen making a few moves but unable to control it and is forced to dump it in, and Chatham will go for a line change. This is Portis coming out from behind his own net. Portis chips it up to Menert. Big hit by Giro, once again their most ferocious hitter. Wilson gives it to Giro, but it's kept in by Menert. Turnover right back to Wilson. Here comes Wilson. He's their stick handler, and he runs right into Sturtevant. Sturtevant didn't know where he was going. You don't headman the puck, and that's going to happen. Here comes Portis. Portis from Montclair brings it into the Chatham zone. Big hit by Dunn, and a turnover right to Giro. Giro sends it up to Sturtevant, but Sturtevant's unable to control. Montclair's there to dump it all the way down.
The physical part of this game is starting to pick up, Bob, especially by Chatham. Fred Giro throwing his weight around very, very strong. We saw some good hits by Jim Wilson a little earlier. The guys are getting into the game.
There's Sturtevant right on, gets the rebound, walks in, throws it out in front. There's Giro, and Giro's unable to get a good piece of it. Dunn dumps it back into the corner. Rose is there for Montclair. Rose and Sturtevant fight for it. Bailey's there also, and Giro. Rose is able to chip it up, but not out. Dunn keeps it in. Reveley right on him. Bailey's able to get it. He throws it up to Reveley just out of his reach, but icing's waved off. Reveley able to play off a hit, walks out in front and just shoots it wide. Wilson has it, and a breakaway pass to Matt Cohen, but Cohen's unable to control it from no angle. Not able to put it home, but he's good hustle. He's able to get it and throws it back out in front. No one's there, but Wilson picks it up for Chatham. Wilson over to Dunn. Dunn able to chip it forward because of the pressure from Rosa, and they're forced to retreat. Menert with a good hustle, good forecheck. He's got it. He's in alone. He shoots, big save with the glove by Jankovic to keep this a one-goal game.
Skylar Menert turning on the Jets. He's a right-handed shot. He went in on the left side, again cutting towards the center of the ice to his forehand. Watch right here as he picks up the errant pass in center ice. Now watch, there he goes on the outside. Watch him use his right hand to ward off. Now he comes in, quick flip. The shot hits Yankovic in the chest, and Yankovic has enough sense to keep the pass together and stay on top of the puck.
It looked like Dunn thought his partner was going to come and get it, and that enabled him to go right by. There's a shot right on by Portis, and Jankovic's there again.
That was just good position by Dean Yankovic. That time he squared himself up to the shooter and gave him no angle other than to put it right into his chest, and he held on again. Watch this one right off the face-off. Quick shot right there from the point. That's Peter Portis. And notice right in front, Skylar Menert, that sophomore, looking for the rebound.
This is Menert. Menert throws it on net, and Jankovic decides to cover it up. A nice clean draw won by Menert.
I'm really impressed with this second line of Montclair. Doing a great job, especially Skylar Menert, the sophomore. 11 goals coming into tonight. He has one so far this evening, giving him 12 goals for the season, 17 points.
Chatham sends it all the way around, just creeps out, and Montclair sends it back in. They'll have to come back and tag up. This is Cook for Chatham. Cook tries to send it up, but it's blocked by Menert, and Cohen takes it for Chatham. Cohen through the neutral zone, over the blue line. Takes him wide, takes him to the right side, tries a drop pass, but no one's there, and Montclair dumps it all the way down, and icing will be called.
We're seeing everything we expected to see tonight, Bob. We're seeing some real good shooting, some great shooting, some nice pass work, some real good checking. Here you take a look at Chatham. Harvey Cohen has won 5 Mennen Cups in his tenure here. 76, 77, 78, 79, and 81. 5 Mennen Cups. Outstanding.
He also played in the very first state championship 20 years ago against Brick. And back then, the Gordon Cup champion played the Mennen Cup champion.
In that game, Brick won a close 3-2 overtime decision back in 1976, the very first state championship.
Both first lines out there, Reveille, DeLuca, Bailey for Montclair, Sturdivant, Giro, and Wilson for Chatham. Chatham keeps it in, but Trevanen's there for Montclair. Gives it up to Reveille. Reveille goes cross ice to Bailey, but can't connect, and Dunn dumps it back in for Chatham. Trevanen goes back, the freshman. Wilson can't control it. Trevanen digs it out, and he'll start it up for Montclair. Trevanen into the neutral zone, still has it. DeLuca gets ahead of the play and goes offside.
Just a little slow with that pass. George DeLuca a stride ahead of time. He was expecting to pass a little sooner. If Matt Trevanien, the freshman, had just given it up a second sooner, DeLuca would have been all alone on the right side.
Coach Herms likes to talk about DeLuca because he compares him to Adam Graves of the New York Rangers. Very dependable, never up, never high, never low in the emotion end. He's always steady. He's always there to give you 100%.
Well, the senior this year has 36 goals to go along with 26 assists for 62 points.
Here come Rosa and Reveille, the 1-2 punch. Rosa off the crossbar. Reveille gives him the drop pass, and the crossbar kind to Chatham. Here comes Rosa out of the corner, unable to get it in front. Dunn right there. Now Wilson, 1 minute left in the second period. Wilson gives it up to Dunn. Dunn, the defenseman, goes on Trevanen, tries to take him wide, taken down, no call. The Chatham faithful unhappy with that one.
Well, that was a dive, Bob. That was a real obvious dive. The officials saw it, and that's why they didn't call it.
Reveille unable to get by Tista. So Montclair forced to dump it in. 34 left in the period. This is Wilson. Wilson unable to catch the pass, waved off, and Rosa goes back forward for Montclair. Sends it around the boards to Bailey. Bailey unable to control it, and Sturdivant throws it into the corner. 20 seconds left. Dunn able to control it. In there, Richards in there to help it. Rosa's able to dig it out, and he throws it out, and icing is waved off, and that should do it for the second period as the seconds click off. 3, 2, 1, and that's the end of the second period. Montclair gets the better end of the second period. That
second period was a highlight film for Dean Yankovic. What an outstanding game. And just as you see his mask, the colorful mask he wears, that's an indication of the type of kid he is and the type of game he's playing tonight. Just outstanding.
Kind of tough for Coach Herms. He's got him on his New Jersey Lightning team, but now he has to go against him, and he's stoning him right now.
He's doing a great job.
Okay. All right, we'll be right back after these messages from your local sponsors as the score at the end of 2 periods of play is Montclair 2 and Chatham 1. Welcome back to the William G. Mennen Sports Arena, where after 2 periods, it's Montclair 2 and Chatham 1. And Pete, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first 2 periods. Montclair was able to get it started first with a goal from Reveille.
This time Reveille does a great job. He takes the centering pass from DeLuca, quick snapshot up over the shoulder of Dean Yankovic, and it's 1-0 Montclair.
Chatham comes right back, and might have been a little controversy here.
Well, the fans thought so, but our replay clearly shows the stick is below the height of the crossbar, right there why it's deflected. And for Jim Wilson, his 36th goal of the season, knots the score at 1 apiece.
Still in the first period, Montclair is able to strike back again and get this 1-goal lead.
Well, this is just a great play because you see from behind the net, that's Skylar Menard chasing that errant puck, circling in front, and then tucking it home.
And right before the end of the second period, Montclair almost made it 3-1.
What a shot by Rosa. This is a rocket. As you see, it beats Yankovic up over the shoulder, but a goaltender's best friend, the crossbar and post, and it clanks right there and keeps the score at 2-1.
There you see Chatham Township's 5 Mennen Cup championships. Since then, though, they have combined the 2 schools. It used to be Berwyn Township. Since 1988, it's just been Chatham High School. Pete, I want to look at the two schedules. You've got Montclair, who plays in the New Jersey National A. 16 of their games this year were against top 10 teams, 22 of 26 against state teams. You look on the other side, Chatham only plays 4 games against top 10 teams all year.
Well, Chatham definitely has the easier schedule. Chatham's toughest opponent all year is Del Barton, and Del Barton plays the game after this one for the parochial state championship against CBA. And Montclair plays in probably the toughest division, overall division, when you combine all the teams in that division, the National Conference A division, which is tremendous. That's the division with Seton Hall, CBA, Brick, Toms River North. That's the best division, St. Joe's of Montvale as well.
When you're banging your head, though, every single night against good team, good team, good team, through the year, it's got to start to tire out. Well, we see that in the third period. You look at Chatham, who in the third period against Brick, who plays in that same league as Montclair, they outscore them 3-0 and win the semifinal.
I don't think the schedule comes into play a whole lot because most of these kids, you're looking at 16, 17, possibly 18-year-old kids out there. And besides playing for their high school, a lot of them play on USA hockey teams. You mentioned earlier about kids such as Dunn, Wilson, Cohen, Yankovic, play with Herms outside of the high school realm. So it's not unusual for these kids to play a game every single night and not unusual to play 3 or 4 games on a weekend.
You're Chatham right now. Let's get into Harvey Cohen's head. The second period, he gets outshot 14-3, and he's still only down a goal. What does Chatham have to do here in the third period to turn things around?
Well, Chatham obviously needs shots. Defensively, they're playing very well, and there's the guy right there who's keeping them in the game, junior goaltender Dean Yankovic. But they're not getting enough shots, and they're not getting quality shots. Scott Hirschberg has been up to the task most of the time, but he is not seeing the pepper of shots that Yankovic is seeing. Right now, they're getting 1 shot, and that's it.
Let's take a look at some of the other stats from the second period. There you see Hirschberg in his net. He, by the way, he was in Coach Herms' doghouse after the Gordon Cup final. He sat the first state game, the only game he didn't play all year, but looks like he's back in the good graces of the coach.
Well, that first game was against Lakeland. It was an 8-1 victory for Montclair. He had a tough time against CBA. CBA ranked #1 in the state all year by Mike Morial of the North Star Ledger, and deservingly so. They are the best team in the state. But he's rebounded well. He's come back, and by tonight's performance, you would think he's the best goaltender in the state.
There you see Harvey Cohen, always known to be trying to get that extra call from the ref, and there you see it. He's right in there. He doesn't want our cameras to see what he's talking about.
Very young team, as we mentioned earlier, just 2 seniors in the entire lineup for Chatham. They're going to be a force next year again.
Last 3 games of the season for Chatham, they've averaged 6 goals a game, and for the year they're averaging 5.2 a game. They only have 1 here. They haven't had many scoring opportunities since the first 3 minutes of the game.
Well, you mentioned the last 3 games were all state tournament games. It was a 7-4 victory over Westfield, a 5-2 victory over West Windsor, and then a very hard-fought 6-4 victory over Brick.
There you see one of our goal judges, Bob Vitor.
Oh, he's more than a goal judge. He's an icon for hockey here in New Jersey.
Every hockey game you go to in the state of New Jersey, be it college, high school, USA, the chances of running into him are good. And you see over Hirschberg's shoulder there is Mike Nardello. He's our other goal judge.
Both fellows had not have a whole lot to do tonight. Just 3 times have they turned on a red light.
Okay, we are ready to get going here in the third period of a 2-1 game. Reveille to face it off against Sturtevant. And we're underway in the third period. 2-1 Montclair in the first ever public school state championship. Chatham gets it behind their own net. Fresh sheet of ice, so it'll be a quicker period. They chip it out, and here comes Sturtevant. Sturtevant's had Rosa flat-footed, but Rosa was able to poke the check away. Here comes DeLuca. DeLuca sends it up to Bailey and knocks him off his feet. Rosa's able to, or Reveille's able to knock that pass down, and Trevainen dumps it in, and Dunn is there for Chatham. Dunn throws across ice to Tista. Tista tries to chip it up to Wilson, but Wilson wasn't ready for it. Montclair, 3 state championships in their heralded history. Chatham trying to find their first.
You mentioned 3 championships, 81, 87, and 88. And to go along with that, they have 6 Gordon's Cup championships.
Here's Wilson walks in, and Hirschberg's there to answer that shot. Hirschberg didn't get to see much action in the second period. Does a goaltender get cold?
Oh, absolutely. And plus, he just sat in the locker room for 15 minutes. But that time, Scott Hirschberg, the senior, squared up to the shooter, stacked the pads, and took this one right flush. Right there, we'll see to the right between the legs, and then holds on right there for the whistle as he extends the left gauntlet on top of the puck.
Chatham able to keep it in. Kostrowski goes to pick it up. DeBliss knocks it away from him, though. Montclair comes out with it, and here comes Menert again. Menert 1-on-2, he'll fire. Jankovic there, catches it in the gut and decides to hold on.
Same thing, Dean Jankovic giving the shooter no angle, coming out, taking the shot directly in the mid-check section. That time he got tied up in his equipment, and he had to hold on for the whistle.
Menert, Volpe, and Haberbusch out there for Montclair. Wins the draw back to Portis. Portis fires it wide, and it's picked up by Cook. Cook throws it up to Cohen. Cohen couldn't control it, but it's kept in by Kostrowski. Volpe picks it up for Montclair. Unable to move it through the neutral zone. Picked up there by Haberbusch. Haberbusch tries to get it in, but he's offside.
Bob, it seems teams are coming out a little tentative here at the beginning of the third period, much like they did in the beginning of the first period. Nobody wants to make that mistake. It's a 1-goal game. They're down to the last 13.5 minutes of the season. They're very cautious, watching everything that they do.
The first group of Montclair back out there, Reveille, Bailey, and DeLuca. DeLuca, so far in this game, 7 point-blank chances, set up mostly by Reveille. Montclair back to get it. Trevainen loses the puck to Sturdivant. Sturdivant still bothered by Trevainen. Bailey picks it up. Bailey fires it around the board. Wilson's there, sends it across. This is Giro, wide open, save Hirschberg. The rebound, and he covers up on that one too. Sturdivant unable to tuck in the rebound.
Wow, 2 great saves by Scott Hirschberg. The first one comes from the slot about 20 feet out, and then the rebound was sitting right there. He stacked one pad on top of the other and makes the second save. There you're going to see the centering pass. Watch, he tees it up, he shoots. There's the first save as it's right on the ice. Now watch, as he's diving down, the Chatham player gets the shot off, but Hirschberg makes the save.
Once again, Herms likes the dump it around the board, so the other team has to make at least one play to get the scoring opportunity. They do make that one play, they get the scoring opportunity, but Hirschberg's there to save them.
Oh, outstanding.
There you see the Chatham faithful, no one's sitting now. 12:50 left in the third period. Still a 1-goal game, all the scoring in the first period. This is Chatham, done. Walks it through, taken away by Reveille. Reveille tries to get through the 2 defensemen, taken down by Sturdivant.
He was looking to try to draw the call there by taking a dive, and our officials did not buy it.
Tista brings it through, tries to dump it in, unable to get it in deep. Sturdivant there for Chatham, though. Tries to work it down the boards. Rosa there for Montclair. Chipped out by DeLuca. Cook is there for Chatham. He throws it back in, and it's just slapping back and forth right now. Kind of a little unorganized, both teams. Now Cook starts out from behind his own net. Tries to hit Wilson, but it's behind him. Volpe's there for Montclair, and they dump it back in. You seem to get the feeling that Montclair's going to dump it in and make Chatham work for their goals.
Absolutely, and just play opportunity. If it happens, they'll rush it. If not, they'll just stay back.
Here comes Cohen. Cohen takes it into the left corner, but Trevainen's there to stop that rush, and Montclair is able to dump it out. But that's the one problem with that breakout, is that every once in a while it's going to be an icing.
I think Montclair will take the icing. I think they're pretty pleased with the way they're playing. In fact, last time Montclair won a state championship, it was by the exact same score of 2-1, and that was over St. Joe's of Montville back in 1988.
There you see Coach Herms. He likes to play that first line 2/3 of the game. An occasional icing, I'm sure he'll take.
Absolutely.
Dunn has it back on the point. He chips it into the corner. Kostrovsky goes to get it for Chatham, bothered by Haberbush. Now Cohen has it behind the net. Walks it into the corner. Looks cross ice to Dunn. Dunn walks in, blocked by Portis. Peter Portis comes from his defense position out to block the shot. Dunn took a little bit too long to get that one off.
And Portis, sacrificing his body, slid legs first and did a great job to prevent that shot from reaching goal.
You're in the state championship, you'll sacrifice anything now. Chatham gets it back into the Montclair zone. But Montclair's able to come out of there with it. This is O'Rourke, and O'Rourke just chips it out. Cook has it there for Montclair. Unable to do anything with it. But Dunn comes back. Dunn with a nice move around Menert. Through the neutral zone. Gets it into the zone, but loses control, and Portis just dumps it right back out. 10:35 left in the third period. 2-1 Montclair. Giro throws it back in. Here goes Wilson after it. O'Rourke's able to throw it around the boards. DeLuca unable to get it out, but Portis chips it ahead to Reveille. Reveille back to Portis, 2-on-2. Portis tries to take him one-on-one, take Dunn one-on-one, and unable to get a good shot off. Sturdivant with a nice back check, chips it up to Wilson. Wilson gets it by O'Rourke, 2-on-2. Reveille all over Giro on the far side. Doesn't give Wilson an option, and Wilson's forced to lose control of the puck.
Great play by Reveille to back check on Giro, making that instead of a 2-on-2, a 1-on-1, because there was no place for him to pass the puck.
Rosa picks the puck up in the neutral zone and dumps it in. We're under 10 minutes in the state public school final, 2-1 Montclair. Rosa there, Rosa's all over the ice. I thought the kid had a 104 temperature.
As I mentioned earlier, I think you'll see players volunteering to do that. If you can have 104 temperature and come out and play the way Doug Rosa's played tonight, it's just a real testimony to the stamina and guts of this kid.
There's a chip up to Reveille, and he's unable to catch it, and it's an icing. Coach Herms said after the Roxbury game that for the full 45 minutes, Rosa was his best player.
He's been an outstanding player the entire season for Montclair. Coming into tonight, 19 goals, 28 assists, 47 points.
He also plays for the Midget AA Devils team. Here's the draw in the Montclair zone, controlled by Montclair, and Portis will just chip it out. Tista back for Chatham. Chips it ahead to Dunn, but Dunn's unable to control it. Portis tries to get it out, but Kostrovsky's all over him. Kostrovsky tries to kick it into the corner. Haberbush chips it back into him, but Haberbush is able to control it. He gets it out to Menert. Haberbush is hustling, it's a 2-on-1. Menert walks it in, tries to throw it in front, and a good back check by Jason Richards to negate the pass in front to Haberbush.
That time, Skylar Menert held on to the puck a little too long. He should have made the pass a little sooner. Right here, when he beats his man to the outside, he has to pass there on the backhand. He carried it one more stride on the forehand, then tried to skim it across the ice on the pass, and it was just too late, as Jim Wilson did a great job taking the Montclair player out of the play. Bob, while we have a moment, I just want to thank Reynolds Fossey and the staff here at the Mennen Arena for their hospitality. It's always nice to come to this place. It's one of the better places for hockey in the state.
While we're thanking people, let's get a quick thanks out to Christine Derilli, the statistician for Montclair, to help us with all our stats, along with Peter Herms. Keith Nixon on site, helping us with our stats on site, game time, and Harvey Cohn from Chatham. Okay, back to the action. 8.5 minutes to go. Puck is in the Montclair zone. DeLuca picks it up, skates it behind his net, throws it around to Bailey. Bailey's able to get there and chip it out. Here's Reveille racing down. It's a 2-on-1. Bailey knows to go in front, thrown in front, but he can't connect. Sturdivant was hustling back. Wilson sends it up to Dunn. 2-on-2, but Rosa's able to knock that away and force him to dump it into the corner. Rosa picks it up from behind his own net. Here comes Rosa. He's winding up. He goes by Sturdivant. 3-on-2 here. Rosa onside, but he's unable to control it as Dunn knocks him off the puck. A potential 3-on-2 there, but thwarted by Dunn. A nice play.
Dunn just got a piece of that, and Rosa really turned on the jets and went wide. And if not for the great play by Dunn, he would have been in all alone.
Chatham starts it up with Cook. Cook dumps it in, and Chatham goes for a line change. Second group comes out. Kostrowski, Cohen, and Richards. Second group out for Montclair, 2. Volpe, Menert, and Haverbush. This is Dunn. Dunn chips it up to Cohen. Cohen knocked off the puck by Bailey. A lot of stick swinging over there on the sideboards. Dumped into the Montclair zone, and Trevannon goes back to get it. Throws it right back where it came from. Kostrowski was there, but was unable to control it, and Montclair's able to dump it out. This is Menert. Menert unable to take it in front of the net, and Chatham is able to get it out. Kostrowski just dumps it out. Chatham picks the puck up again. Here's Dunn. Dunn's their offensive defenseman. He dumps it in. Chatham will go for another line change. Back out the first group. Sturdivant, Giro, and Wilson.
This is what we talked about a little earlier. Notice the quick line changes by Chatham. They're rotating every minute to minute and 20 seconds, while Montclair is keeping that big line out there for a minute and a half to 2 minutes, spelling them 30, 45 seconds with the second line, and coming right back with their first line again. And we're in 6.5 minutes to go. This may start to take effect here in the third period.
There you see Coach Peter Herms taking the chance right there on the whistle stoppage to get that first group back out there. 6:34 left in this period. You got to believe they'll be out there for at least 4.5 of that 6.5 minutes.
You're right, absolutely, Bob. 4 to 4.5 of the last 6.5.
With a timeout in high school hockey, each team gets one timeout, and he'll surely use it to his advantage. There's a giveaway to Wilson. Wilson walks in, and he scores, and we got a tie ball game. Doug Rosa from behind his own net throws it right on the stick of Jim Wilson, and we're tied.
Wilson made a perfect shot. He didn't wait at all. He took 2 strides, let a quick snapshot go right on the ice. Scott Hirschberg got beat just inside the short post, and with just 6:22 remaining here in the third period, we're going to take a look at it. Watch. A little bit of pressure there, and he gives it away, Rosa. Now watch the quick snapshot, low to the glove side, just inside that post. He could not have placed it any better. And right there, Wilson with his second goal of the evening, his 37th of the season, and we're tied at 2.
Rosa looking for DeLuca on that. Didn't even see Wilson coming in. Wilson stepped right in front, got the quick shot off, and beats Hirschberg, and how quickly things change. It is now a 2-2 game with 6 minutes left. Montclair tries to dump it out, but Dunn's there for Chatham. Into the corner, Richards. Richards taken away by Rosa. Rosa dumps it up the boards to DeLuca, but no one's there. Bailey goes back to get it for Montclair. He chips it around and is able to get it out. Cook then dumps it back up for Chatham, but is unable to connect. Here it is, kept in by Reveley. No, it is not kept in. No, penalty being called on Rosa. And when I talked to Coach today, he said his 2 big guns, Reveley and Rosa, are very, very emotional. If they're down, they're way down. If they're up, they're way up. Rosa down after giving away the puck takes a stupid penalty.
And a real tough situation now. 5:46 remaining here in the second period. Excuse me, the third period. With the score tied. Chatham on a high right now after coming back to tie the score, and they'll have a 5-on-4 advantage for the next 2 minutes, or possibly less if they can score.
5:46 remaining. Power play here for Chatham. Chatham comes out with their power play unit of Sturdivant, Giro, and Wilson. On the defensive end, Dunn, who's been out there. Talk about Rosa out there all night. Dunn's been out there all night. And Matt Cohen, the second line center, he steps back to play defense.
And Bob, we mentioned earlier, Chatham 35% on their power play. That is an astronomical figure. If you look at the NHL teams, if they average 22, 23%, it's tremendous. Here they have 35% success rate on their power play.
Here you see goaltender Hirschberg, obviously from the guidance of his coach, to go down and fix his pads to give his players an extra little rest.
That's right. There was no equipment problem there. If it was created by Hirschberg just to get an extra 30 seconds for his line mates to rest.
Reveley and DeLuca on defense for Montclair. Portis and Trevannon on the defense for Montclair. And you look, and Rosa is the stalwart on defense. They're forced to play now a freshman on the penalty kill. Here's Chatham, long pass up to Wilson. Wilson's over the blue line, gives it to Sturdivant. Sturdivant, bothered by Reveille, forced to dump it into the corner. Sturdivant still has it, throws it out to Dunn. Dunn walks in, shoot, big save, rebound. Wilson tries to jam it in, but is unable to. Hirschberg there to make the stop.
Well, Hirschberg makes the first save, and then the second shot comes in. He didn't know he had the second shot. Although he had his stick down behind him, he actually looked behind him to see where it was. There you see the first shot from Peter Dunn, save made. Watch right there, you see the extended part of the goaltender's stick. Now that stick the goaltender uses is bigger than a forward stick. The shaft going up is 3.5 inches wide, and he had it on the ice to make that save.
Menert steps on for Reveille. Chatham controls the draw. Giro gives it to Dunn, back across to Cohen. Cohen gives it back across to Dunn. Dunn 1 times, doesn't make it to the net, as Trevainen and Wilson are tied up, and referee Murray Seltzer calls for the face-off outside.
The puck got caught up in Wilson's clothing, and he caused a stoppage of play, so that's why they'll move the face-off outside. That time, the shot from the point, Wilson was positioned in front for a deflection or a tip-in. That shot was purposely off net, and Wilson, just to the right of Scott Hirschberg, was trying to redirect it. Unfortunately, the deflection got caught up in his jersey, and the whistle takes the puck outside the zone.
Minute 10 left in the power play. Reveille right back out there. Reveille, DeLuca, Portis, and Trevainen on the defensive end for Montclair. Same first group out there for Chatham. Montclair's able to clear. 1 minute left in the penalty. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Here comes Dunn through the neutral zone, gets it into the zone. Throws it into the corner. Trevainen's there first for Montclair. He sends it around, but not out. Reveille and Cohen fight for it. Reveille chips it up, and it goes out of the rink and will stay inside.
Well, although the faceoff will stay inside the Montclair zone, it gives a much-needed rest for the Montclair players. If you notice, Montclair's not changing anybody. Peter Herms is keeping the same 4 fellas out there, so every time they get a stoppage, every time the puck is knocked out of the rink, that's an extra couple of seconds of rest for his players.
They take the faceoff outside. Sturdivant questions referee John DiCarlo, but the faceoff will be outside. Giro and Reveille on the faceoff. Won by Reveille, but he chips it right to Matt Cohen. Cohen throws it into the corner. 35 seconds left on the penalty. Portis there first for Montclair. Sends it around to DeLuca. DeLuca unable to control. Dunn walks in, fires right on, and Hirschberg's right there playing the angle perfectly.
Again, Scott Hirschberg squaring himself up to the shooter, coming out just a little bit, not too far, about the top of the crease, taking away any angle. Here we're going to take a look at it. Watch, nice move right there. That's Peter Dunn, the junior defenseman. Quick shot right into the breadbasket. I don't care how hard you shoot, you're not going to put the puck through the stomach of the goaltender. It's so much better to keep it on the ice to the corner.
Here's Wilson off the face-off, unable to get a shot off. Dunn keeps it in at the point, though. Gives it to Sturdivant. Down low to Wilson. Wilson loses control. Trevainen right on him. They throw it out top to Cohen. Cohen throws it down low to Giro. Giro unable to control it. Sturdivant gets the shot off, but Hirschberg's there again.
That time, good anticipation by Scott Hirschberg. He lost sight of that puck, so what he did is he laid down and took up as much ground as he could. Watch, the first deflection goes wide, and there you see Cohen, quick shot. Notice how Hirschberg is down already, his legs and stick extended to take up as much ground as he could, and then he holds on for the whistle. There's just 10 seconds remaining in the Montclair penalty.
A nice play by Portis to get Wilson out from in front so he could see Hirschberg could see the shot. Here's Giro with the puck from Montclair. He gives it away to Reveille, but they are able to get it back. Dunn walks it in with 2 seconds, 1 second. Penalty is over. Here comes Reveille. Reveille tries to send it up, but Rosa would have been offside. Cohen picks the puck up and sends it back in. 3:40 left in the third period. 2-2 tie. Montclair tries to dump it around. Kept in by Dunn. He chips it toward the net. Doesn't get through. Picks it up again. Tries a backhander. Sturdivant's there, but the shot doesn't get through. Trevainen blocks that. Cook keeps it in on the left point. Throws one wide. Now Wilson will go get it. Wilson tries to dump it into the corner. Can't do it. DeLuca's there for Montclair, and he dumps it all the way down, and they need an icing because they're exhausted.
Chatham, a lot of pressure, even after the penalty was up for the next 30 to 40 seconds. Chatham putting a lot of pressure on Montclair. A few real close calls there. 1 or 2 times the puck was almost deflected or redirected on goal. And Scott Hirschberg is having a third period the way Dean Yankovic had a second period, seeing a lot of rubber.
14-3 the shots for Montclair in the second period. It's 9-1 in the third period for Chatham. Chatham, Cohen tries to walk it right through. He trips up Hirschberg. Good no call, and then there's an icing.
Well, our official Murray Seltzer was watching the whole thing, and that's a tough thing to do, only because you don't want to call a penalty. However, if the Chatham player who did knock down Scott Hirschberg causes Hirschberg to be out of position in a goal scored, then what do you do? Thank God there was an icing on the play. There was no harm, so there's no foul.
Grossa back out there for Montclair with Portis, the second group of Minert, Volpe, and Haberbush. For Chatham, Chatham has their second group out there too, Cohen, Kostrowski, and Richards. And there's the third straight icing for Montclair, but Coach Peter Herms probably doesn't care. He's getting rest for his first line.
Well, as you mentioned, there's just under 3 minutes to go here in the third period. Right now, it's the second line that's out there. They'll probably ask them to go another 30 to 40 seconds and then come back with DeLuca, Revelli, and Bailey. Nope, he's going to do it right now.
Chatham, in their semifinal game against Brick, scored right around the 3-minute mark. This is their time of the game where they had their heroics against Brick.
And they're not going to allow Chatham to make this change. They're going to send the 3 Chatham players off. Harvey Cohen trying to make a change after Montclair had made their change, and Montclair is the designated home team tonight. They were the higher seed, so official John DeClaro sends the 3 forwards back to the Chatham bench.
Portis for Montclair, takes it behind his own net, sends it around, tries to hook up with DeLuca. It takes a funny bounce. Cohen chips it back behind the net. Kostrowski there for Chatham, works it behind the net, tries to throw it out in front. Richards is there. He throws it back into the corner to Kostrowski. Kostrowski bothered there by Bailey, but Cohen comes out of there with it. Bailey all over Cohen, unable to do anything with it. Rosa steps up. Big hit on him by Richards. Richards comes out of there with it, tries to send it in front, but they're unable to, and now Revelli has the puck at the blue line. He skates it through the neutral zone, gets by Dunn, but then Cook is able to step in for Chatham, dump it down, and Chatham goes for a line change. This is Portis. Portis dumps it ahead, but picked off by Peter Dunn. 2-on-2, he takes him wide, gets a shot off by Rosa's sticks there to deflect it out of the ring.
Smart play by Rosa. All he did was just put his stick in the line of the shot, got enough of it to deflect it up and over the glass. And if you can take a look, people are starting to fill in this building right now, because right after this game comes the Del Barton and CBA game for the private parochial championship.
Sturdivant, Wilson, and Giro out there for Chatham. There is the timeout we were talking about. Montclair has taken a timeout. 2:02 remaining here in the third period, a 2-2 tie.
Taking a look around, some of the people here tonight. Brian LaFontaine, coach of Westfield. John Warchall, the coach of Seton Hall. John Kovacs from Morris Knowles is here. And of course, Mike Reynolds from CBA and Brian Day from Del Barton. There you take a look at Harvey Cohen, who's involved in this game right here, really talking to his team, telling them, yes, we want to put pressure on, yes, we want to score this goal, but please be aware, think defense, watch out for Revelli, watch out for Rosa.
While we have the chance, let's go over the overtime format if there is a format. How do we do it?
Well, if they're tied at the end of regulation and there's only 2:02 left to go, they will then play an 8-minute overtime, okay? After the 8-minute overtime, then they go to a shootout. And a shootout is where 5 players from one team go against 5 players of the other team. They alternate one shot at a time. And at any time when there is when one side has more goals than the other, I should say, it's almost like a top of the inning and bottom of the inning. They will go back and forth until one side has a decided advantage. Then the game is over. If after 5 it is still tied, they will announce another 5 players and do it again. So we will not leave tonight without a winner.
Unlike when you don't need a winner, i.e. the overall state final, they would be declared co-champions. Here we go. The draw is 1 back to Chatham. Dunn gets a shot on net. How he saw it, I don't know. Nice save by Hirschberg. Another big save by Hirschberg. Wilson picks it up in the corner. Bailey's without his stick from Montclair. Here comes Rosa into the zone. He's got Portis in front of the net, and he takes one in the face, but Murray Seltzer is not buying it. He is still down, and we will get a stoppage of play. You don't know if he's looking for the penalty right there or if it actually did take place.
Well, from our camera angle and our vantage point where we're sitting, you saw the stick come up and you saw the head jerk back, but you couldn't tell exactly where he hit him. What was the impetus for the stick coming up? Was it maybe something that Rosa did himself by trying to lift the opponent's stick? We couldn't quite tell from here, but Murray Seltzer was standing right there and he decided not to make this call.
On the play, Rosa's in there. The man he has in front is Portis. The two defensemen are joining the play. Doesn't look like Herms is playing a conservative style. He wants to win this before the overtime.
He sure does, but this is a very well-coached team. I'm sure, I didn't see, but I'm sure two forwards dropped back to cover that area. Whenever a defenseman rushes, a forward should at least, and I'm sure it happened in that situation, came back to cover the point area.
What hurts Montclair right here with 1:40 left is Doug Rosa has to go off at least for the face-off.
Correct, because he was the reason for the stoppage of play. Now, if you notice, there's a player standing right next to the bench. As soon as it's dropped, he will jump off, and Rosa will jump back on, and there it is.
Good to see that he's not hurt that badly. 1:35 to go. Dunn takes it behind his own net, sends it around. Cook not able to get it. DeLuca keeps it in, but Wilson knocks him down. Revelli throws it in deeper. Sturdivant there for Chatham. He'll try to start it out. Sends it cross ice to Giro. Icing will be called. Tried to send a guy out. Tried to send Giro, just missed him.
Now, we've had quite a few icings by Montclair, bringing the faceoff back in front of Scott Hirschberg. This time, Chatham guilty of the icing. The faceoff will be to the right of Dean Yankovic. And for Dean Yankovic, the junior goaltender, a little easier period than he had in the second period, but nonetheless, he has a lot to worry about here with just 1:16 remaining. And now a timeout by Chatham this time, as they want to make sure they have the right players out there, the right setup for this last 1:16.
Who does a timeout right here favor more, the offense or the defense?
Well, I would seem to think right now, it doesn't matter offense or defense. I think it favors the Montclair because they are the ones that are using that top line. As you mentioned, 35 of the 45 minutes. They need the rest. The problem right now is where the faceoff occurs. This is a very big draw. Who gains control immediately off the draw? If Montclair can win it, can get back to the point for a quick shot, can Chatham gain control and get the puck out of the zone? That's the question coming up.
Revelli, a left-handed shot. Most centers like to bring it back off their backhand. Rosa will be right behind him on that side, trying to get the draw to Rosa, whereas Chatham, Sturdivant will just try to get it back into the corner.
Or will Revelli try to go forward with it? Rather than try to bring it back, he may try to chip it forward and step in himself. There you see it, 2-2, 1:16 remaining here in the third period. We're as good as sudden death overtime right now because the next goal is going to win this game.
For all the doubters who didn't like the new format, hard to doubt this game. We've had an exciting one.
Couldn't ask for anything better, Bob.
Here are Revelli and Sturdivant for the draw. Revelli tries to go through his legs, unable to do it. DeLuca's able to chip it toward the net, but Jankovic sees it the whole way and catches it.
Revelli did exactly that. He, instead of trying to pull it back, he tried to slip it between the skates of Tom Sturdivant. He almost got it through, and then if he was able to slip through, he'd have a clear shot at Yankovic.
Only the second shot on net for Montclair in this period. Dunn goes behind into the corner, tries to dump it out, and they do get it out. Rosa's there for Montclair. Rosa chips it back in, but no one goes into forecheck. Here comes Revelli across. Long pass to Sturdivant, and he dumps it in. 1 minute left in the public school state final. We're tied at 2, Montclair and Chatham. Montclair trying to get it out of their own zone. They are. Here comes Revelli. 42 goals worth, Revelli. Into the corner. Tries to get it in front to DeLuca, but DeLuca is covered by Sturdivant. Now Portis has it. Portis throws it over into the other corner. Rosa's going to get there first. Rosa chips it back in behind the net. Dunn's there for Chatham. 30 seconds left. Kept in by Bailey. Bailey gives it to DeLuca. DeLuca, it hops over Revelli's stick, and here comes Chatham out. 3-on-3. Dunn throws it across to Wilson, but no one's there, and here comes Reveille back the other way. 15 seconds left. Reveille over the blue line, gets a shot off right on. Jankovic's there, 10 seconds left. Bailey goes into the corner, throws it to Reveille. Reveille tries to get out in front, can't do it. 5 seconds left, hits the side of the net. 2 seconds, 1 second, are we gonna have overtime? I think I heard a whistle.
I heard a whistle, there's 1 second remaining. The net moved, it came off the line. So with 1 second to go, we're gonna have a face-off just to the right of goaltender Dean Jankovic.
It'll be interesting to see if they put an extra second on the clock, but they are not going to put an extra second on. Herms decides to pull Hirschberg, so there'll be 6 attackers, and Reveille will just fire it right on net.
He's got to go forward with it.
Chatham moves Cook over to the other side. There's the drop. He gets a shot off, but it's partially blocked by Cohn, and we're going to overtime.
Boy, oh boy, this will be an 8-minute overtime. The sides will not change ends. They'll take about a 1 minute rest here. The teams will regroup for about 1 minute. Oh, I just see on the scoreboard, they just put 5 minutes up on the scoreboard. And they will then play an 8-minute overtime.
8 minutes to decide the state champion. Remember, it is sudden death. If we don't have anybody after sudden death, then we go to the shootout. You don't want to miss this. We'll be back right after this with the overtime. Yeah, there's 4:15 left. Total of 25 to 20. Welcome back to the Public School State Hockey Championship. We're just waiting for overtime to get ready. Let's take a look at the only goal in the third period. It turned out to be decisive as it got us into overtime.
Doug Rosa here, maybe he saw the pressure coming from his right side, makes an errant clearing pass, but credit also Jim Wilson, the junior forward, the right wing from Chatham, intercepts the puck. Now he has a wing on the left side as a decoy. Instead he elects to shoot. Notice the shot is perfect, right on the ice, just inside that post. That knots the game at 2, and that's why we're here for overtime.
In New Jersey Public School, during the regular season, you don't play overtime. So neither team has played a lot of overtime. Montclair has yet to play a game. Chatham, in the semifinals of the Mennen Cup, lost to Pingree 4-3.
And that was a real tough loss because they played very well that game, but just came up 1 goal short.
There you see Wilson, the leading goal scorer for Chatham. He has both of their goals tonight. You remember the first one, the stick high but not above the shoulders, so a legal goal in the first period, and then the big one in the third period to tie the game up. On the other side, Reveille, their leading goal scorer, he has their first goal, and Skylar Menard has the second goal. Both teams will start their first groups. Reveille, DeLuca, and Bailey. For Montclair, Sturdivant, Giro, and Wilson, and here we go, we're into overtime. The first goal wins it. Dunn decides to chip it out. Picked up by Sturdivant. Sturdivant's able to get it to Wilson, but he goes in 1-on-3 and has no option. Reveille able to pick up the puck in neutral zone, but he loses it. DeLuca tries to chip it ahead, but he can't do it either, and Trevainen starts it out for Montclair. Picked off by Dunn. Dunn gives it to Wilson. Rosa steps up and knocks Wilson off the puck. Now DeLuca. DeLuca chips it in. Cook's unable to get it out, but then Sturdivant's there to get it out. Trevainen for Montclair. He'll just dump it right back in. Staying with the passive forecheck. Cook's able to set it up behind the net. Cook throws it up to Wilson. Wilson taken off the puck by DeLuca, but Cook picks it back up. Cook through the neutral zone, across the red line, and he'll dump it in. Chatham goes for a player change. Montclair keeps the same forwards out there. This is DeLuca. DeLuca tries to send it long to Reveille, but it's broken up by Kostrowski.
Reveille, goal hanging right there, hanging out by the Chatham blue line, looking for that outlet pass that just missed.
Montclair just able to get it out. Dumped back in by Dunn. Dunn and Stoltz on the defense right now for Chatham. Montclair dumps it back down the ice, no icing called. This is Stoltz. Stoltz behind his net. He sends it up to Kostrowski. Kostrowski sends it cross ice to Cohen. Cohen across the red line. He dumps it in. Hirschberg decides to stay in the net. Portis goes back behind it, sends it around to Volpe. Volpe can't control it, and Sturdivant dumps it back in. And then Portis is able to chip it out on net, no icing.
Both teams starting this overtime very cautiously, the same way they started the first period and the third period.
Giro sends it up to Sturdivant. Sturdivant dumps it in right on net. Hirschberg leaves it there for Trevainen. Trevainen sends it around the boards, but it's not controlled. Dunn keeps it in for Chatham. Now it's Sturdivant, taken off the play by Trevainen. Portis just dumps it up the boards, and this is Menert. Menert through the neutral zone. Here comes Menert. Unable to get it over the blue line. Volpe steps in, throws it on net, and the automatic whistle for offside.
That's correct. It would be a delayed offsides, except the puck was shot on net, so the whistle blows immediately, and he'll take the faceoff just outside the zone. Watch right there. That's Skylar Menert, the sophomore center, as he tries to step around, but he was poke-checked right at the blue line, and then Montclair, putting the puck on net, causes the immediate whistle.
Coach Herms gets the lineups that he wants out there. He has his first group against Chatham's second group. Reveille tries to stick it through Cohen's legs, but can't do it. Cohen's able to chip it into the zone, and he'll go after it with Portis. Portis is there first, and he chips it up to DeLuca, and DeLuca's able to get it out of the zone. Dunn's there for Chatham, and he sends it right back in. Chatham's got to wait for Cohen to get out of the zone. Rosa behind his net, steps up, throws it long for Reveille. Reveille gets it, but he had to turn around to get it. Throws it cross ice, right on the stick of DeLuca, and he shoots it just wide. Reveille's able to get it. He tries to kick it into the corner, but Dunn's there. Portis steps up and keeps it in. Now Bailey keeps it in for Montclair, but it's now chipped out, and Chatham controls in the neutral zone, but they just give it right away, and Rosa will retreat back in his own zone. Throws it up to Bailey. Here comes Bailey, the unknown player on that first line. Bailey gets it into the corner, and Dunn rides him off the puck. Reveille picks it up, almost gets it in front to a wide open DeLuca. Behind the net, all three Montclair players behind the net right now. Comes out in front. Bailey's able to chip it, but Jakovic is able to hold on with Reveille right on the doorstep.
Wow, a lot of pressure right there by Montclair. Although only one shot on goal, they kept the puck right around the net. There you can see the good work from behind the net as Ryan Bailey, the junior, punches it up and over. And then the quick shot. Notice right there, Jankovic had to go down real quick, and then a big pile up, but he's able to hold on for the whistle.
4:50 left in the overtime. Reveille's still out there.
That's Ryan Bailey, the junior. 4 goals, 22 assists, 26 points this season.
Herms tried to change him for Haberbusch, but they weren't allowed. DeLuca chips it cross ice. Bailey and Giro go for it. Bailey's able to knock it into Reveille. Reveille behind the net, unable to control. DeLuca goes in for Montclair. Cook comes out of it for Chatham. Cook starts out of his own zone, throws it up to Giro. 2-on-3. Giro steps across the line, takes a shot, but it's blocked, but it stays in the ring. Haberbusch tries to send it around the boards, and he gets it out into the neutral zone.
Bob, Montclair's getting tired. They're starting to reach. They're not out skating the man to the puck. If somebody has a step on them, they're reaching with the stick, trying to hook the arm or hook the leg. They're not using their legs, they're using their stick, and it's going to cost them.
Dunn steps up and chips it out, but Haberbusch is right there for Montclair, and he dumps it in. Cook goes back behind his net. Menert, Leighton coming out, tries to block the pass. Sturdivant off his skate, and Wilson can't keep it up, and Menert will dump it right back in. Still using the passive forecheck with this second group.
It's almost like the teams are playing for the shootout.
This is Wilson. Wilson tries to get it to the neutral zone, but it's broken up by Montclair and sent back in. Chatham will start out again. This is Dunn. Dunn gets to the red line, but he's hounded by Menert and coughs up the puck, and Rosa shoots it out of the rink. 3:28 left in the overtime. 2-2. Both teams look like they're playing for the shootout, or is it an emotional game? Each team only really playing 2 lines. Are both teams very tired?
Well, I'm sure they are a little bit by now. I mean, it was a warm day out there today. It's kind of warm in the building a little bit tonight. We only have 3.5 minutes remaining here in the overtime, so we've gone through almost 55 minutes of playing time.
Both second lines out there. Menert, Volpe, and Haberbush for Montclair. Cohen, Kostrowski, and Richards for Chatham. Rosa goes back to get it, chips it up, and Menert chips it into the zone. Menert gets to the puck first, hounded by Tista. Tista ends up coming away with it, but Volpe's right on him, and Dunn sends it around the boards. Portis able to keep it in, sends it deep, but Dunn's there for Chatham. Dunn starts it out of his zone. Menert right there to chip it back in, and Cohen takes it for Chatham. He'll throw it right out. Portis now at center ice, steps across the red line and throws it in. Montclair will go for a player change. Here comes Chatham out of their zone. This is Tista. Tista across the red line, knocked off the puck by Reveille. Kostrowski picks it up for Chatham. A lot of play in the neutral zone right now. Here's Reveille, picks it up. Reveille tries to walk in, can't do it. Tista's there and he chips it out, and Rosa's forced to go back and get it. Wilson steps up on Rosa, lets him go. Here comes Rosa. Goes around Giro, gets by Sturtevant, up to DeLuca. DeLuca sends a cross ice, but right there is Dunn. Dunn now starts it through center ice. He gets across the blue line, but Bailey's there, and he's got Reveille. Throws it up to Reveille. 3-on-1 maybe. Now it's a 3-on-2. Sends it across to DeLuca, but it's broken up. Rosa there, and he can't get it in front. Giro with a nice play. Set it in front again, but Wilson's there. Rosa keeps it in. He walks in, over to Reveille, and he just shoots it wide. Might have been better for him to walk in and shoot it.
He had a lot more room in front of him than he thought he did.
2 minutes left. Portis walks in, takes his shot, but they're offside.
Boy, that was the best scoring opportunity of this overtime. Just under 2 minutes to go. That time the first line for Montclair, Reveille, Bailey, and DeLuca working the puck very well, and the shot just missed. Here we're going to see some of this is the 2-on-1. Where's the pass across? Great play right there. Great play by Chris Stoll as he broke up that centering pass.
Crowd's getting into it now. 1:59 left in the overtime. Both first groups out there. First group for Montclair must have logged 5 of the 6 minutes so far in overtime. Rosa goes back to get it. Kept in by Cook. Cook can't get the shot through. DeLuca makes the block. Behind the net, Rosa stops the centering pass. He sends it around to DeLuca. Once again, Reveille trying to sneak behind the defense. They set it up. It's right on its stick. Reveille in the hole. He shoots. He scored. Montclair wins the public score final in overtime.
And what a way to win it. Mike Reveille, his second goal of the evening, his 43rd of the year.
8 on the goal, 13 on the assist.
Can't play any better on a blackboard. It worked to perfection. Montclair goes to the overall championship this Saturday.
And the Montclair faithful love it. All during the overtime. Was it Peter Herms' strategy? Every time they got the puck, Rosa, whoever, you send Reveille and hope for the home run pass.
Well, they had somebody hanging at the Chatham blue line this entire overtime, just looking to have that breakout pass. That time it worked, and it was a close play at the blue line. He was just on sides, but he was, and he makes a great move. Here we're going to see him as he comes in the zone. Watch, he picks his head up. He'll fake the backhand. Fake the forehand, go to the backhand right there. He gets Yankovic to go down. He backhands the puck over the outstretched arm. And there you see a jubilant Mike Reveille. And it's his goal that propels Montclair to the big game on Saturday. Bob, there you see both teams shaking hands. This was a great game. We saw the good hitting. We saw the good checking. We saw tremendous shooting. We saw great goaltending tonight. We saw every aspect of the game all incorporated into this one game. There you see Peter Herms, the jubilant Montclair coach, and rightly so. His team played this game to perfection. They did not press in the overtime other than the flurry just before the winning goal. The overtime was pretty even, but then the cream rose to the top. When Mike Reveille had the opportunity, he put it away.
Hermsy says in the paper today, I would not be surprised if Chatham won. Actually, I would be surprised if they didn't win. Is that a motivating factor for his team?
Well, Peter's been around a long time, and Peter's played under some great coaches. Peter played under John Warchow when he played at Seton Hall Prep back in 1979 when he was an All-Stater. There you see he gets the treatment of the Gatorade over the top of the head right there, and I'm sure he'll take that with glee. But he didn't want his team to be overconfident. Yes, they were the higher seed both the entire year as well as into this tournament, but he wanted his team prepared. He wanted them ready. He did not want to take Chatham lightly, and it's a good thing they didn't, because Chatham gave them a hell of a game.
Another motivating factor in it for Montclair, knowing that if they did win, they have the possible chance at the rematch with CBA in the overall state final.
Should CBA beat Del Barton in the next game? That is exactly so, Bob.
Okay, you have just witnessed the first ever public school state hockey championship, and you can't be upset. It was a great one. Once again, in overtime, Montclair wins it 3-2. Stay tuned for our post-game show right after this. Welcome back to the William G. Mennen Sports Arena, where tonight the first ever state public school ice hockey championship was won by the Montclair Mounties 3-2 in overtime, and the overtime goal was scored by Mike Reveley. Mike, give us your reaction to the game first.
I thought it was a rather hard-fought win. I know we didn't come in here expecting just to roll over. I knew they put up a good fight, which they did, but I'm just glad we won. I mean,
in the overtime, a few times you're behind the defense, you're kind of sneaking behind there. Finally, about fourth or fifth time it works. Tell me about how that play developed.
Oh, we caught them in a line change where we were back checking, and we caught them in the line. They dumped it in. They changed. They all just left. So I just curled up and just broke down the far boards, and George saw me and just hit me with the pass.
What were you looking at when you went in on the goalie, Jankovic?
Well, I saw him. He had the angle covered pretty well, so I know I couldn't shoot it. And so I just figured I'd bring it to my backhand and hope I'd just get him on his heels or something.
And it worked. Congratulations, Mike. Good luck on Saturday. Bring in Dougie Rosa. Doug Rosa, the man with the 102-degree temperature, wasn't sure he was going to play till game time. He sure did play.
Yeah, it was a tough game for us, and coming into this game, I wasn't really sure if I was going to play. I had the 102 fever. Didn't go to school yesterday, didn't practice. Tonight I came in, I felt a little better. Been on medicine a lot, and thank God our team came through with a big victory tonight.
On the ice a lot. First time you were on the ice since Saturday. Go into the corner. Looks like people didn't know, hey, is he faking the injury? Does he have an injury? Well, you got the proof that there was an injury.
Yeah, I chipped a couple teeth in the front here, as you can see, and the stick got up under my mask. It was accidental, pretty much accidental stick that went under my mask, and things happen, but it's part of the game.
Hey, congratulations and good luck on Saturday. Bring in the third of the tri-captains, George DeLuca, and George is the one who found Mike Reveley on the breakaway.
Yeah, big play, big play. He was saw him cutting behind a 3D, and I hit him with a Hail Mary. It worked. We won the game. Not
only did you hit him with a Hail Mary, you hit him with the first goal, too.
Yeah, we were cycling deep in their corners. That's the main part of our offense, working him deep, trying to get him tired, and he broke away from the defenseman, and I hit him. Nice goal.
Hey, congratulations and good luck on Saturday. Bring in now Coach Peter Herms. And Peter, you've coached at all levels. You've played at all levels. First of all, congratulations. Where's this one rank?
Well, I mean, hey, this is like anything else. I mean, it was, I'm just clutching the glass down there, hoping in overtime. And I looked away for a second when we went in for a breakaway, because I was just crossing my fingers and hope he buried, because their kid played well, especially in the second period. So, but Michael's come up for us big all year long. He's scored a lot of clutch goals. And George DeLuca hey, brilliant pass. I mean, a pro couldn't have made a better pass. And Dougie Rosa, Christ, he's responded, and we don't go with many kids, but those 3 kids have really done well by us, so I couldn't be happier with them.
Well, you go into the overtime, and Reveille, on more than one occasion, is sneaking behind the defense. You ask the kid, and he says, oh, I'm allowed to do that. Ask the coach, was that a plan?
Yeah, we play a collapsing zone, so we usually roll off the 4-man pivot underneath, and we springboard a guy, not really behind the defense, but we give him liberties to go through his defensive zone coverage and spring if he thinks that we are getting control of the puck. And Michael really takes a great advantage of it. Skylar Miner is starting to. I mean, he's younger, but I couldn't be happier with their play. He has that liberty. A couple guys do. Everybody has a role out in the ice. That's Michael's role, and he's our go-to guy. So when he gets the job done, we win.
Giving you 15 minutes to soak in the victory. You hate to have this question, but who would you like to see? Would you like a rematch with CBA, or would you like a chance at Delbarton?
I think we're going to be the underdog in either game. I mean, it's a thing where I hope they beat on each other long enough and hard enough so they're dead tired when they play us. I mean, it's just a thrill to be there. It's one more mountain to climb, and hopefully we'll come out and give it a good effort, get some bounces, and come away with the win. But it's going to be tough. We're going to be the underdog.
Hey, congratulations, Coach.
You.
Bring in my partner now, Peter Caggiano. And Peter, the first ever state hockey championship for the public schools, and it didn't disappoint, did it?
Oh, absolutely not. Tonight we saw a great game. A good game as far as consistency throughout the game. We saw some good hitting, some good checking, some great scoring, some great shooting. And what more can you say about Reveille? That breakaway, 1:34 remaining in the overtime. He took the puck right at the blue line. He had one thing in mind, and he didn't disappoint us.
If you look at the way the game went, unbelievable ebb and flow. The first 3 minutes, Montclair isn't even on the ice. 3 great saves by Hirschberg. The whole second period, 14-3 shots for Montclair. The third period, at one point, it's 9-1 shots for Chatham. In the overtime, the shots are even. Montclair gets the 1 break.
Well, Montclair put on just a little bit of pressure just before the game-winning goal in overtime. Up until that point, about the first 5 minutes of OT was played at a very mild pace. Neither team wanted to make a mistake, but then Montclair took control and Reveille put it home.
Well, you can hear the starting lineups behind us right now. We'll be back here on Saturday for the championship. Montclair against CBA, Montclair against Delbarton. How do you see either one going?
Well, I think Peter Herms hit the nail on the head, and he said, regardless of which team we play, we will be the underdogs, and that's probably the case. Delbarton, the class of the Morris County League. CBA, the class of the New Jersey League. This format this year has really turned out to be a great contest.
Well, Pete, we saw a great one here today in the first ever public school state hockey championship. Once again, our final score is Montclair 3, Chatham 2. Be with us next week, next Sunday that is, for the overall state championship, where Montclair will take on the winner of today's game between CBA and Delbarton. Thanks again and have a good night.